Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Well, hello there, beautiful people. It's The Natural, and today we are doing the 7 Scariest Things Tag. Sorry about that. So yeah, we're gonna be doing this tag. There is 7 questions that all have to do with scary things from my past and experiences. So with that said, let's get into it. Question number 1, scariest real life experience. Oh, I got a couple, but this is probably the most entertaining one. I was performing a few years back. I was actually opening up for the Yin Yang Twins. Funny side note, they used to be really famous back then. They were super late to the performance, so I was tired from my own. They went super late. By the time they finished, it was super late at night. I was sleepy. I just wanted to get home. I'm driving back and I got one of my friends in the car. For whatever reason, I started braking at a green light. Like, I didn't realize it was green. I was just really sleepy and wasn't thinking. And he's like, dude, what are you doing? It's a green light. Keep going. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, what was that about? So I hit the gas. As I start going, a car just flies through the intersection, takes the red light, doing like 120 miles per hour. Pretty sure the amount of time that it would have taken me, like if I hadn't broke, I would have been right there. He probably would have just wiped this out. Now I don't know about you guys, but that felt like some divine intervention type stuff. Like, shout out to Jesus for letting me live another day. Question number 2, scariest paranormal experience. Ooh, okay. All right, I think I want to say I was about like 21. I got a fever, and the fever was so bad it ended up being like 104 or 105 fever, like through the roof. And basically the fever was so high that I got sent into hallucinations. I didn't know this, but I'm laying in my bed, I'm like freezing cold, but I'm sweating profusely, and suddenly I can't like feel my body. Like, I literally lost all control of my body. I was telling myself to move my arms, but I couldn't. I was telling myself to like say something, to call someone to come help me. I couldn't open my mouth. And what's crazy is I felt like I was my soul, but I was floating inside of my body. Okay, I was floating in there. So I had no control over my actual physical being. It was like an out-of-body experience. So at one point, like my hand started curling up by itself all the way to my chest, and I'm just freaking out. They call the paramedics when they notice something was wrong with me. I get rushed to the hospital. I wake up the next morning with like IVs in me. They said I had a crazy high fever and I started hallucinating. So that's why I had all those out-of-body experiences, which I don't know if that technically counts as paranormal. But what the hell, I'm doing it anyways, whatever. Question number 3, have you ever known anyone convicted of a violent crime? Wow, what I look to you, like some snitch or something? Nah. Okay, honestly, I don't really know if I should be sharing this information with you guys, but one side of my family is like, you know, the nicest, most straightforward family, and the other one is like, has a horrible history of gangs and stuff like that. So I do have like a bunch of, you know, older cousins and uncles that are convicted of violent crimes and whatnot. But hey man, that's family, so you gotta love them. Question number 4, are you afraid of the dark? I mean, who isn't afraid of the dark, right? Am I right? Okay, look, I'm not gonna say I'm afraid of the dark, because people who really are afraid of the dark would probably be like, no, you don't understand the fear I have. But I will admit this. When I'm in a room at night with the lights on and then like I'm leaving the room, I'll do that thing where like I'll walk out of the door first and then reach back and turn off the light and then like walk really fast to the hallway. So I won't like turn off the light and be in there in the dark. So I don't know if that makes me afraid of the dark, but maybe like a little bit afraid of the dark. Alright, I'm afraid of the dark. Question numero 5. Does your hometown have any scary legends or stories? In East LA, there's an abandoned hospital. But me and my friends did have like this little phase we went through when we were younger, where we liked to go to all like the haunted places. We'd break into like abandoned insane asylums and like haunted forests and stuff like that. And we like snuck into that place, and there's just a lot of scary legends about it. Number 6, what is your favorite urban legend? Now I can't think of like a favorite famous urban legend, but there is an urban legend that existed at my old elementary / junior high. Basically, in the auditorium room where we would do all the like concerts and you know, Christmas shows and stuff like that, there was a staircase on the side that led upstairs to like an attic. And if you went to that school, you were always like afraid of that staircase, but you were always curious at the same time. You always wanted to go up there. And so there was a story that existed about it was a Catholic school, so one of the nuns went up there and would always play the piano. And apparently the piano was like raised, they had it raised, and while a nun was walking by, the piano fell and killed her and smashed her. So since she died in the attic, her spirit never left, and her spirit actually still plays the piano up there. Number 7, what is your scariest nightmare? Okay, this one's gonna trip you out. When I was in high school, I used to have these 2 nightmares all the time. One of them, I'm swimming and I start drowning. And in my dream, I realize that I'm dreaming. So in my dream, I would start telling myself, okay, just open your mouth to say something because you're closing it right now so you won't, you know, drown, choke on the water. And I'm trying to convince myself to open my mouth while in the dream underwater. Finally, I would build up the courage to open my mouth, and when I would open it, all the water would just rush into my mouth and I would just start choking, and then finally I would wake up. And when I would wake up, I would just be sweating like crazy, and I'd be actually choking on myself. Like, I'm convinced that I was literally holding my breath and I was about to suffocate. And when I finally opened it up in the water, I literally breathed in real life. And then I had another one that was real similar with wind, where like a wall of wind would come to me, and it would eventually like start tearing my face off. And then when I would open my mouth, it would just like, it was crazy. I don't even like talking about it. I was literally like getting scared or falling asleep, but luckily I stopped having them, so you know, it's all good now. Well, there you have it, folks, the 7 scariest things tags. Do me a favor down below, answer all the questions that I answered in this video, and then make a suggestion for a tag video that you would love to see me do. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. It's the natural, y'all. Peace.
She goes over to you, all sexual, right? Sits right on your lap. You wouldn't hit that.
Wow, seriously? She just magically walks into my room naked and my pants aren't on. Really? Am I in the Twilight Zone here, guys?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.